What's going on, guys? My name's Ed, and today I am comparing two short shifters for your R154 or W58 transmissions. And today I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison between Driftmotion's adjustable short shifter versus Cube short throw shifter. And I know this is basically not going to be a fair comparison because one's adjustable, one isn't, but there's not a lot of short shifter options out there for these transmissions. So I'm just going to put these basically through a side-by-side comparison and show you guys what I have, what's the difference, and you guys can make a decision on what is the best short shifter option for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and get to it. All right, so I have both short shifters laid out on the table here, and yeah, let's just kind of go over the difference here. On the right side, this is the Cube short throw shifter. It's already basically what you see is what you get here. You could get their shift knob, which I didn't get at the time, and I've had this shifter for, I don't know, I think I ordered it 2 years ago. I never really used it, and when I finally installed it, I figured I wanted something that was a little bit more customizable with my throws, so that's why I ordered the Driftmotion option, which we'll get into in a second. But as far as what you get your assembly, bolts there, a beautiful piece of machined base for your shifter. It says Cube on the side, and your short throw shifter itself. So this piece is a little taller. It's not by much. It's about 3/4 of an inch longer than Driftmotion's, which we'll get into in a second. But this one's measuring at roughly 12 and, what's that? 12 and a half, give or take. Whoops, it's a little high. So let's bring it back down. There it goes, about 12 1/4. So yeah, it's a little bit longer. I'm not sure that's gonna make that much of a difference, but yeah. So yeah, it is a pretty nice piece, very solid, nice and thick metal, so it's pretty good. But yeah, let's look at the Driftmotion one over here. So this is adjustable, as I mentioned earlier, and this one is measuring at 11 and a half inches, and you get a lot of threading here, which is fine, and then you have all these pieces. One of the things I like about this setup, though, from what I'm seeing so far, is that it does have a nice little rubber seal, so keep everything nice and well contained there. Sorry, I was trying to focus at the same time. But yeah, and this actually looks very nice quality. Obviously, I would expect, I'm having a lot more bigger expectations from this short throw shifter, simply because there's about a $150 difference in price between this option versus that option. So right now, I'm not going to even try to adjust this right now or play around with any of the height. What I want to do, this came this way. I just want to toss them both in the car and show you guys the difference between feel and height and look and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the car. All right, so now that we're inside the car, I already have the stock shifter installed, so now would be a good time to kind of do like stock versus Cube versus Driftmotion. We already know the stock throw is very long, but in this case here, you can see this is neutral. I can get it in first, okay? I can't put it in second right now with this shifter bezel installed. So second, third, and fifth, if I want to keep this shifter bezel in, it's not happening because that's how long the throws are in the shifter. Okay, so I know that a couple of you guys are going to want to know why the stock shifter is hitting this stock shifter bezel, and I did a terrible job of explaining it. So to make the long story short, my Sc300 here has an R154 installed in it out of an MK3 Supra with the shifter housing extended. So everything is extended further back, and the purpose of doing that is so that everything lines up perfectly at the factory shifter location, which was not the case in this car because I actually ended up swapping out trans tunnels entirely, and I can make a separate video on how I did that whole thing. But this is why I am even doing the whole shifter upgrade to begin with. Okay, that was all. what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove this shifter bezel first. All right, and normally you would want to take the shift knob off, but in my case, because my shifter bezel is torn, I don't need to do that. So there we go. Now inside here you have four 10mm screws that you need to unbolt to remove the shift boot, right? And then that's going to give you access to the shifter screws. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these and we'll jump back on. All right, so right now I have the cube short throw shifter installed. So at first glance, it looks good. Height, I like this height a lot, in my opinion, but that's just me. Again, everything went in smoothly as expected. You know, there's a lot of videos out there about the cube short throw shifter, but as far as shifting goes, that's first gear, second, third, fourth, and that's fifth. Okay. Reverse. Oops. Let's try third. There it goes. Reverse. So it's very stiff. The throws are very, very short. And if you guys like that style, this is a great shifter. Again, it's not expensive. For me, at least, it feels very notchy compared to the stock shifter. The stock shifter felt smooth, buttery. Honestly, if the stock shifter, if the throws weren't so long where I was hitting the back of this thing here with the stock shifter, I'd probably just rock what I got, right? You know, but since it hits, I have to, you know, find an option here. And so that's kind of like my only thing about this shifter. I mean, everything else is good. It's just, for me, the throws are, I mean, the first through fourth are good, but it's just once you get to that fifth, feels very notchy. Right now, what I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to install the Driftmotion one. We'll get a close-up of that, and we'll see how that one looks. So yeah. Okay, so I have the Driftmotion one installed, and I'd be lying if I said I noticed a big difference. I will say that the Driftmotion one does feel a little bit smoother. I didn't try to even adjust the height. They sent it to me this way. It looks like it's at the max shortness that it can be at. So I just tossed it in and went at it. And the shifts do, like, here's first, here's second, here's third, here's fourth. I mean, they're going in, and it's going in, for me at least, I feel like it's going in much easier than it was with the cube short throw shifter. But the throws feel the same. Like, I'm not really, maybe that's a little shorter. I'm not really measuring or anything. I'm just talking as more of a feeling, as how it feels for me. It doesn't feel as notchy as the cube, but again, I have much bigger expectations for the Driftmotion one simply because it's a more expensive shifter. This is not a cheap shifter. So also, I do like the quality of the Driftmotion short shifter. It looks a little bit better, in my opinion. It does look good in comparison to the cube. Not saying anything's wrong with the cube as far as quality goes. I just think that the circular motion with the O-rings and all the little minor details that that the guys over at Driftmotion you know, thought of and put into, I do appreciate the quality of this shifter. If there is one thing that I probably could complain about, is this boot with the hose clamp. I mean, I know nobody will see it, but I'm not a fan of this. You know, I don't like the way this looks. Again, nobody's gonna see it. It's gonna be covered. It's gonna be under everything. That's kind of one of the things that I like about the cube short throw shifter, is that you could use all the factory boots, and it covers it up nice. You don't have to worry about it. So, you know, that's pretty cool. What I'm probably gonna try to do is, I I want to measure the throws of this shifter to get an idea of how much shorter it is. Maybe I can grab a measuring tape or something, and I'll install the cube short throw shifter since I didn't do that first, but we'll at least get accurate measurements with the Driftmotion, and then I'm probably going to end up adjusting this later on down the road because I don't really want it to be the throws to be too short. I just want a normal shifting, you know, just a normal shifter that's just a little bit shorter than stock, and where I'm not hitting my shifter bezel trying to get into second, fourth, or reverse. So let me go ahead and get my measuring tape, and let's see where these throws are. So yeah. So I got my measuring tape set, and right now we're at about, I'll say 7 inches in neutral, 7 So when we go to first, we're at about 6 inches. So the throw is about an inch forward. Let's go second. We're almost 8. That was about 3/4 of an inch. Neutral. Third, it's a little bit more forward. It's about the same, 6. Whoops, put this back. 6. Fourth, 8. So there's about an inch forward of shifting and an inch back. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly install the cube back on, and let's get a comparison. All right, so I got the cube short throw shifter back in. Let's go ahead and pull the measurement. We're at about, that looks like 7.5 to me. So first, sorry, 6.5-ish. So it's about the same. Throws are about the same. 8. That's actually, yeah, 8.5. When I go from, so we're at 7.5 to 8.5. So it's about an inch throw forward. So throws, there are about the same. Not that much significant difference in throws. They're both about an inch forward to, from neutral forward. I mean, both are better than stock. So you can't really go wrong with either one of these shifters. As far as I guess verdict, for me, I personally like the Driftmotion short shifter a little bit more, just because it is adjustable. So I'm gonna have a little bit of fun adjusting the shifter. But this shifter here, honestly, it's for what it is. You can't complain. It's nowhere near as much money as the Driftmotion short shifter. So you know, you save a little bit of money, and yeah, you know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this a little comparison. I know it's not really a full scientific breakdown. This is just more of a consumer comparison. I got both short shifters and just wanted to basically compare the two, and I figured, you know, I'll make a little video showing you guys the difference here. So anyways, if you guys have any questions about anything that I did not cover in this video, feel free to comment below, and make sure you give me a thumbs up. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.